I want to talk to you today about tired landlord properties and how to find them, how I go about sourcing tired landlord properties, some ways that have worked for me. I'm going to talk to you about how I found this property in a way that you probably aren't using or maybe haven't thought of. It's been helpful for me. It may work for you. Just want to give you some ideas about finding tired landlord properties and hopefully help you out a little bit. Thanks for checking out the video. If you would, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. This is the second video on tired landlord properties I've done. I'll leave a link in the description to the previous one. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Tired landlord properties. Okay, so one of the obvious ones is if you're doing some driving for dollars or you're out and about in your area, look for those red and white for rent signs, especially if it's a for rent by owner type of thing, just stuck in the yard. A lot of times, if they're doing self-management, that even wears you out even more. So self-management being that they don't have a property management company or a property manager running that property for them. They're going out and nailing the sign in the yard themselves and doing everything else probably themselves as well. So maybe worth giving them a call and picking their brain, say, hey, look, I'm looking for some investment properties. I saw you for rent sign. Thought maybe you would have some for sale as well, or is that particular property on such and such Bluebird Street, is that for sale? And they may go into it from there like, I thought about putting that for sale sign up, but I put the for rent sign instead. I'm glad you called. You never know, but that's a direct access line to the owner of the property, and you never know where it goes from there. And if nothing else, you're making a connection with a fellow real estate investor who could lead you down whatever path. You never know. So it's always a good contact at the least, and maybe a good deal, best case scenario. Another one, a lot of rental properties, property managers, reaching out to property managers and letting them know what you're looking for, what you're doing. Hey, do you have any properties that are for sale, or any landlords, any property owners that are maybe looking to get out of the business? I'm looking to purchase some rental properties or real estate in general, and see what they have to say. And a lot of times it's going to be a great, nice to meet you. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for reaching out, but that's it. So you're going to have to be key in your follow-up as well. I found is the best way to go about actually developing that relationship and having you on the top of their mind if they do run across a particular individual or somebody, a deal that's wanting to sell or thinking about getting out. They may say, well, a guy approached me or a lady approached me or somebody approached me about buying some rental properties. Why don't you talk to them? So that's a good way to get into touch with somebody that has access to a lot of properties normally, I found. So that's another one. But another place where a lot of landlords are congregating, in my experience, are at auctions, courthouse auctions, foreclosure auctions. Even if they're not there to buy, they've got that old landlord spirit in them that just wants to go see what's happening. So a lot of times I've seen them hanging out down there at the auction, watching everybody else buy properties, talking about the properties that they have and what they've got going on. So that's a good spot to meet and to greet and to network with people that are actively, in some sort of capacity in the real estate business, real estate investing. And so I found that to be a pretty good concentration of real estate investors in one spot. And so go in, mix, mingle, introduce yourself, again, talk about what you're doing, ask what they're doing, what they've got going on. And somebody's going to say to you, well, I like to come down here and watch them buy, but I'm really looking to sell more than I am looking to buy, or I'm on my way out of the business, or I'm looking to downsize or something like that. And then that's where you come in and say, hey, I'm looking to upsize, or I'm looking to get started. Do you have any properties? Are you looking to owner finance? Would you, consider selling me your whole portfolio? Whatever you're looking for. And real estate investors and property managers are great because they have access to more than one property. Now, let's get into the one place that you're probably not looking for tired landlords that I recommend you give it a shot. And it doesn't cost much, maybe $1.50, $2. I don't know, maybe $5 for the Sunday edition. I'm talking about the newspaper. That's where I found this deal, and that's where I found tired landlords before. And now before you check out on me, think about it. These tired landlords, they probably own properties for 20, 30 years, longer even. And when they had a property that they were trying to rent out, what did they do? They went and put it in the newspaper. And so that worked for them. That worked for a long time. And so if you have a local paper, like an established paper that's still in circulation, that's, being used, that's still relevant, check it out. I mean, you can look in the back, in the classifieds, they still exist. I know, they still exist. And sometimes there's even like focused newspapers that have a particular niche. Like in our area, we have like a small business circulation type of newspaper that talks, and they list foreclosure auctions. They list, a lot of courthouse filings and things like that related to business. And people can put their own ads in there as well. And real estate gets put in there, even just in your regular local paper, for rent, for sale, things like that get put in the newspaper. And so I found this house in the newspaper. I one time found, so I'll do push and pull in the newspaper. The ads are pretty, they're not much. So I'll put an ad in the newspaper from time to time, reaching out saying that I buy real estate. Here's my number. Here's what I'm looking for. If you have anything, give me a call, and I'll get calls off of that. And so one time I had a tired landlord with probably 15 properties in a portfolio, and they were all run down. You could tell he was tired. He had an RV park in there, single family homes, duplexes, commercial properties, a mobile home park, all kinds of stuff that he had just acquired over the years. His kids didn't want it. His kids had moved out of town. His daughters didn't want anything to do with it. He really didn't want anything to do with it, but he was still cash flowing off of those properties. And he was looking to, in his case, he was looking to cash out big. We never came to an agreement, but I did focus in on a couple of his properties in that portfolio and tried to reach a deal on just, cherry picking some of the good ones out of the portfolio. It never really materialized in that particular instance, but that's the kind of tired landlord that you can connect with through the newspaper. They may not be up to date, looking online, advertising online, or even really top of mind thinking about it, but the newspaper is where they used to advertise their properties for rent and things like that. So they're still familiar with it and they still like to use it. So give it a shot. It's low cost, and that's where I found this property. I bought this property for $63,000 more or less from a newspaper ad. I'll probably profit after the remodel and everything somewhere at $60,000, $75,000 from the newspaper. So give it a shot. I hope some of this helps you out. If you would, give me a subscribe. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment. Have you ever used the newspaper to find deals, source deals? If you have, let me know how it went. Thanks for checking out the video. Thanks for checking out the channel. I'll see you on the next one.